What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Pandemic Update video. I'm Data Report for datareport.info. Today's update is for February 22nd, 2023. It's a Wednesday, which means we do get some more data on Wednesdays than we do for the rest of the week. But let's start off with this. Queen Camilla, consort of the United Kingdom, tested positive for COVID sometime between February 12th and the 13th of 2023. This is not the first time she's had COVID, and she is 75 years old. The reason why we're revisiting this is because there is an update. Here was the second update that we received last week. King Charles says Queen Camilla is, quote, getting better. Remember, this started out being reported that she just has a seasonal cold or just a mild sickness, and it wasn't a big deal. And even when she was announced that she tested positive for COVID, it was not made a big deal. Well, now this has come on. The Queen Consort has pulled out of a visit to food charity in East London as she continues her recovery from COVID. That's right, she's still recovering from COVID. What does that tell us? Well, that tells us that it was not mild, and it's taken her a long time to get through this, which is rather interesting and a lot different than the story that the media was painting the other day. And the Buckingham Palace said Camilla had made an excellent recovery, but was taking time out of a busy day of royal engagements on Thursday. So yeah, that's telling me she is still tired. We've been seeing this a lot with people lately where they claim to be getting better and then it turns out, no, they have a lack of energy. Alright, now to this in Australia. NSW Health apologizes for sending 60,700 people text messages wrongly informing recipients they had COVID-19. So it says 60,700 texts. I'm assuming that's 60,700 different people. And there's a lot of questions that arise from this. First off, did all of them even get tested for COVID? Second off, how do you just do that? I mean, come on. We have gotten so careless with the data at this point in the pandemic that we're just wrongly sending people messages saying, oh, you have COVID-19. I mean, I get it. No one cares about the accuracy of the data anymore or putting any effort into accurately reporting the data anymore. But come on, this should not be happening. This just shows the carelessness of the state of where we are in the pandemic now. It's just ridiculous. No one cares what happens, and if something's done incorrectly, guess what? Oh well, that's the way we are. Well, not me. I try and report the data as accurately as possible. Alrighty, today we did a video on wastewater, and we're going to start incorporating this into the videos a little bit more. I think this is something that updates weekly. So, anywho, looking at this map, as you can see here, there is a wide range of things, with the brighter the colors being the higher the wastewater, the gray colors being not reporting, and the blue colors being low reports. As you can see here, there is clearly a clustering of moderate to high wastewater reports in the Great Lakes region and along the East Coast, which leads me right into our transmission map, and you will see on the community transmission map, yes, it fits it. The highest transmission is in the eastern states, while the western states are not as high transmission. 1,878 counties in high transmission, 713 in substantial. Moderate makes up 463, and low makes up 168. Today's varying proportions. We will get a new update from this on Friday, but just to keep you refreshed, I like to report on it every day. XBB 1.5 is 80.2%, BQ 1.1 is 12.1%, BQ 0.1 is 3.7%, XBB is 1.5%, CH 1.1 is 1.2%. Alright, taking a look at Walgreens, as promised, if you're watching my other video earlier today, there are some areas that are rising that do pretty much fit in what we're seeing with wastewater. And let's refresh just to make sure it's the most up-to-date data. And as you can see here, let's just go to the national first. 31.6% positivity. Last week was 32.8%. Difference of 1.2%. Unfortunately, we lost our gains in the number of people getting tested. 19,168 this week. 23,433. We're starting to close that gap yesterday, but Today was a step backwards. All right, let's take a look at Delaware. Remember, if you saw the other video, and if you haven't seen it, it's the previous video before this. I'll try and link it down below. If you saw the video, you saw wastewater is rising in Delaware. And look at this. As is the positivity rate at Walgreens, 38.7% positivity there. Prior week, 31.6%. That's a difference upward of 7.1%. Louisiana, look at this, 33.1% with positivity for this week. 27.2% last week. That's a difference upward of 5.9%. And remember, they just had the huge Mardi Gras celebration. So we expect that to continue to rise in Louisiana. Arkansas, don't even have any words for this as to what's going on there. It's just been rapidly rising for multiple days now. Testing is slightly higher than last week, but it's really not much. That's 58 tests, big deal. 34.5% this week, 13% last week, 21.5% difference. Oklahoma also rising, 34.4% this week, 27.6% last week, difference of 6.8%. Colorado, 37.2% this week, 26.6% last week. That's a 10.6% increase. Here you go. Nebraska, wow, 41.3% in Nebraska. Is that a record? Is it? Okay, so the record in Nebraska is 41.6%. Okay, so we're 0.3% away from breaking an all-time record since they started doing this back in 2021 in Nebraska. That's a difference of 9%, up from 32.3% last week. Look at this one. Montana, 22.7% this week, 11.4% last week, difference of 11.3%. How about some states that are not rising? Here's one, West Virginia. 23.4% this week, 42.3% last week. That's down 18.9%. But look at the chart here. They're on this pattern now where they go up, down, up, down, up, down. How about Texas? Because we are going to see Texas, hopefully see Texas update today for cases. 30.3% this week, 32.7% last week, difference of 2.5%. And we'll end on Washington. Washington is 21% today. Last week was 29.6%. That's down 8.6%. So that's good news if you live in Washington. Look at the chart. That is really rapidly dropping. So that's some good news. All right, New York State. Want some more good news? New York State has that too. 1,941 positive cases in the last 24 hours. 4.2% positivity today. That is lower than the 7-day average of 4.3%. And hospitalizations, check this out. They dropped in New York State. We're not continuing that rise that we saw last week. They didn't drop by much, but hey, a drop is a drop. 2,006 people in the hospital today, and 211 people in the ICU. So, given that there was a somewhat of a drop today, I expect there'll probably be a bigger drop later in the week, but we'll have to wait and see. Usually, if there's going to be a rise to start the week, Tuesday is the biggest day to do it. This week it's because of Wednesday, because of the holiday on Monday. We had President's Day on Monday, but this week it fell on a Wednesday. So this is actually an encouraging sign. So we'll have to see if it drops some more tomorrow. All right, let's check and see if Texas updates, shall we? Hopefully we got an update out of Texas today. It looks like, yes, we did. New confirmed cases, 8,493. Average per day is 1,213. And the hospitalizations for Texas are at 1,768. So let's zoom that in. If memory serves me correct, they didn't really drop that much. Yeah, it looks like the hospitalizations for Texas, they're still dropping slightly, but not very much anymore. Matter of fact, the last couple days, if you look at it, they actually rose a little bit already. And let's take a look at the latest death information. As you know, there's been quite a few deaths this year, but as of lately, we have been trending somewhat a little bit lower with the deaths. We'll see. So the most recent update, another 210 deaths were added, so that puts us at 271 deaths so far this week. The hope is we can get down below where we were last week, and eventually I think we are going to get below 2,500 deaths a week. But remember, This does not include all the deaths that don't get counted, whether it be heart problems, long COVID. There's a lot. That's a real misrepresentation, and there's a lot of deaths that don't get added. It gets counted as something else. And then you got the people that say, well, this person didn't really have COVID, and that shouldn't be counted as COVID death. I mean, it works both ways, but the majority of it is it's an undercount. It's a big time undercount. All right, let's take a look at some weekly trends from around the world real quickly. Japan is down 32% on cases. Taiwan is down 16%, but they're up 4% on deaths. Russia's up 19% on cases. They're only down 1% on deaths, so deaths are about to start going up there. South Korea is down 16%. Austria's up 14%. France is now up 14% on cases and 10% on deaths. Mexico is now only up 4% on cases, and they are now up 13% on deaths. Poland, I still want to know what's going on here, as do I with Mexico, because Mexico was a pretty big increase not too long ago. Poland's up 55%, and they're also up 55% on cases. That's very concerning. Chile is up 4%, and they're actually down 10% on deaths, so that's good. Czechia is up 44% on cases and up 27% on deaths. Serbia is up 10% on cases, still up 117% on deaths. And we'll end it here on Israel. Israel is up 29% on cases, down 30% on deaths, but I gotta say this. So they had 3,455 cases. Who remembers? I like to do the Who Remembers tweets, and this would be a good Who Remembers. Who remembers when the media was making Israel their shining star, saying, oh, Israel is doing so well and so great. Gee, how mysterious. They stopped talking about Israel. You hear nothing about Israel on the news now. You don't hear them saying, oh, they're doing so well. 3,455 cases, and we know that's an undercount, because they have at-home testing there as well. And they also probably have people not getting tested. And look at that, their cases are rising again, but the media says absolutely nothing. I get it, that was in a time before all these new variants came around, but it's amazing to me that they just won't admit it. Oh, why don't they stay on the story? They won't. Alrighty, that's all I have for today's pandemic update video. If you like the content that I do on my channel, hit the like and subscribe button down below. The next video that's going to be coming on my channel, which will probably come out tomorrow. I don't think it's going to come tonight. We're actually going to report on a rare February tornado in New Jersey. Yes, you heard me correct. There was a tornado in New Jersey yesterday, and I need to report on it. It's only happened 5 times, and this time was number 5. So, yeah, it needs to be reported on, and we will do that tomorrow. Alright, thanks for watching this video. I know this was an extra long one today. And stay safe, everyone.